Cosmic Girl 101 signing on for the Sagittarius Rising Astrology for the month of June 2024. We're going to be discussing the new moon and the full moon this month of June and the planets and the transits that they are making in the skies. Opening up the month of June, we've got that Sun continuing its transit through the sign of Gemini. For you as a Sagittarius rising, this is your 7th house. So this is opposing you. It's an angular house, so it's quite significant when any planet's transiting the 7th house opposite you. But it's a Sun no less, and it's a shorter transit. This is until June 20 of the month of June. So the next 3 weeks, we've got the Sun highlighting your relationships, the agreements and contracts, all those negotiations that you have connected with other people. So the Sun is about illuminating things that are almost habitual, they're permanent. These relationships that are permanent, the agreements, negotiations, things that you've locked in, you've shook hands, you signed on the dotted line, you've put the ring on it. This is what's obvious to you. And this is almost opposing you in some way, shape or form because it's opposite the first house of the self, the body, the physical body, also to do with your psychology and how people are seeing you. So people and yourself are in opposition here, and there could be a lot to do with paperwork or documents, just a lot of cerebral energy being activated, that Gemini place and your 7th house no less. And a lot to do with commerce and finances, Sagittarius rising, when you've got that Sun transiting through Gemini, your 7th house. Finances connected to relationships as well is highlighted here. Well, on June 20, the Sun is going to leave the sign of Gemini and ingress into the sign of Cancer until July 22nd of 2024. For you, Sag rising, this is your 8th house, and the 8th house is all about other people's assets, valuables that impact you, support you, or quite the opposite, be costing you, draining you, partnerships, significant others, finances and resources that are of benefit to you or, again, draining you. So when the Sun is transiting here, it might be a transit that is at the very least a house that a lot of attention doesn't really go towards when we've got this transit for you, which is, you know, basically something in aversion to your first house, so you don't really possibly notice so much the hold of other people's assets and resources that, well, even the impact that they do have over you. So this is what's highlighted. So use the Sun, if we can use in hyphen of planets at any given time, to take a moment to reassess the agreements of resources and assets of others, your partners as well. What is impacting you in regards to your values and self-worth? This is what's going on and what's highlighted for you as a Sagittarius rising when that Sun is transiting in Cancer. Now, the lunations for the month of June, on the 6th of June, there's a new moon in Gemini, your 7th house, which we've been talking about, and also the Venus is conjuncting the moon on the same day of this new moon. So we've got a new beginning that is beneath the surface. It's not revealed. It's the beginning of a new lunation cycle. It's a new cycle, a brand new one. And what a new moon's about? Well, they're about individuation, creating something that's significant to you so you can do your own thing. So you're trying to establish, Sagittarius rising, something new in connection to agreements, contracts, partnerships, negotiations, other people. It's obviously not going to be on the surface. It's a very private, very privileged place to be in regards to our feelings, emotions, and connections with other people, unless we want them to be made public. But there is something new here starting. And with Venus conjuncting this new moon, it looks auspicious, connected to your self-worth and self-value. So if you're signing on the dotted line or going into an agreement, boy, oh boy, have you done the analysis and realised, I'm going to sign on the dotted line, I'm going to shake hands, I'm going to put a ring on that, because I find a lot of worth and value in this connection that is going to benefit me. The 21st of June, we see a full moon in the sign of Capricorn, and this is your second house, no less, of self-worth, self-value, assets, resources, other people's finances, opposing that sun in Cancer at the time of this lunation, the 8th house. Now, this is the first of 2 full moons in Capricorn. There's another one, the 22nd, 21st maybe of July. So this is the first of the 2 full moon lunations in Capricorn, your second house. Significant for all of us on planet Earth. But because it's connected to your financial house axis, Sagittarius rising, I think you're on notice here on call to realize how you'd like to, I don't know, distinguish or identify financial trouble or financial differences connected to you and other people's assets or resources. So it's going to be pretty hard to miss when you got the full moon in this second house, which is all about you trying to establish autonomy and self-authority. So you might be making some very self-determination decisions here connected to your self-worth, self-value, assets and finances. So there could be a financial situation that comes across your table that needs your attention. But it's also affecting a partner's finances or assets, or how you are in conflict with other people's assets or valuables that you're trying to separate yourself from here. Now, Mercury, that planet of travel and movement, be it cerebral or physical, is ingressing into its home sign of Gemini, your 7th house, on the 3rd of June. And the same day conjuncts Jupiter in the sign of Gemini, which has just ingressed here, your 7th house as well. So we have the 3rd of June highlighted here until the 17th of June as super, super important weeks. Because why? Mercury's flying through Gemini. I mean, flying at top speed. You've got 2 and a bit weeks to really nut out the nuts and bolts, the details of agreements, negotiations with other people, partnerships, the financial parts of them as well, and making a decision and not being torn in too many directions, because that Mercury is really going to amp up a partnership or the red tape or the communication ideas, and it could be split in 2, connected to a partnership, connected to a relationship or an agreement. Forewarned is forearmed. And because Mercury is conjuncting Jupiter, when it ingresses into the sign of Gemini, your 7th house, and remember, Jupiter is in detriment in the sign of Gemini, and this is your 7th house for a year, Sagittarius rising, can have things blown out of proportion between you and other people about agreements, negotiations, and even relationships or partnerships. But the 3rd of June is a red flag day of overinflated information, intel, downloads, communication, conflict connected with relationships or partnerships, and it could be financial. The 12th of June, we have Mercury squaring Saturn in Pisces, your 4th house. Again, this is important. It's an angular house in a square house, your 7th to your 4th. So just think about your home environment, real estate, property concerns, things that make you feel safe and secure. Well, there's a grating moment here, a feeling of just hold your horses and stop. Something's coming to a stop. Something's coming to a halt on the 12th of June, connected to home, family, real estate, property concerns, your sense of sanctuary, connected with a partner, connected with an agreement, negotiation, or a contract. Something's going on here that's a bit tricky to deal with on the 12th of June. The 17th of June, we see that Mercury now leaving the sign of Gemini, its home sign, where it's been kicking up its heels, really having the time of its life. Now ingressing into the sign of Cancer, your 8th house, until the 2nd of July, 2024. Now, again, this is a super fast transit for Mercury as well. So Mercury going into the 8th house is other people, joint finances, significant partnerships that affect your values and assets, partnership assets. This also has to do, believe it or not, with inheritances, things that are really old and built up over long periods of time that actually give you a sense of self and value and stability. This is what's highlighted here in the 8th house, these topics. So when Mercury dips his toes in the 8th house, there's a lot of cerebral energy going on here. Communication, documentation, a partner's documentation agreements and assets and valuables are highlighted as well. So it's a money access house, 2nd, 8th house. So this is Mercury going in here is highlighting the need to get on top of red tape, sign the contracts, get your assets and your partner's assets online, or at least discussions about assets and valuables between you and a significant other. Doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship. It usually is, but it is certainly connected to some sort of significant person in your life. The same day of the ingress, Mercury is conjuncting Venus. That's just ingressed into the sign of Cancer, the 8th house as well. So Mercury-Venus conjunct is talking about, let's talk about how we're going to create pleasure. Are we all on the same page with our values and what we believe? Are we on the same page when it comes to our sense of uniting together, especially with finances and assets? This is highlighted as well on the same day, the 17th of June. The 21st of June, same day as the full moon, we've got that Mercury sextiling Mars in Taurus, your 6th house and your 8th house in a sextile. So this looks like an easier day, the day of the full moon, quite simply because you've got harmony between a conversation or an agreement in regards to the future connected to work, services, co-workers, and how they are providing value or services that present you a sense of an agreed investment or an agreed amount of money coming on board. Here is the 21st as well, is what I'm getting for you, Sagittarius rising the same day of that full moon. On the 26th of June, we've got that Mercury trining Saturn in Pisces, your 4th house. So Mercury-Saturn trine from your 4th house to your 8th house looks good for a conversation that feels like it's mature or it's got a sense of longevity connected to it with home, family, real estate, property concerns, things being in more harmony in the home connected to finances, assets and valuables. So you could be getting a return of money, insurance money, investment money that helps the home environment, or inheritance that helps the home, or people that have valuables that can assist a home, real estate, property matter. So this looks like a great day, the 26th of June as well. Now Mars transiting Aries, your 5th house, opening up the month of June. So Mars has been transiting your fifth house of joy and pleasure. And Mars is about conflict, cutting, surgery, drama, just agitation, feeling aggression in your 5th house of joy and pleasure. So Mars has been rambunctious, really kicking up its heels in regards to disrupting your sense of joy and pleasure, that 5th house. Or it has been separating you from joy and pleasure, but on the 9th of June, that Mars is leaving and going into its actual joy house. In ancient astrology, Mars was in its joy in the 6th house. This is where he's now ingressing into the sign of Taurus until July 2024. Phew! Now, Mars is traditionally in ancient astrology in its detriment in the sign of Taurus, but he's in his joy in the 6th house. So this is better for Mars. Better for you as a Sagittarius rising. Why? Well, quite simply, Mars is enjoying getting back to the day-to-day grind, getting on top of the health problems, getting on top of the health regimes, really feeling like you're making progress with work, co-workers, services that you provide to other people. There could be like an amp up in activity connected to services provided to you by you to other people. It is a good transit because Mars is slowing down in the sign of Taurus. It's giving you time to digest where you're directing your energy and rethinking your career moves, your health, what you do habitually on a day-to-day basis. And there might be some trouble in paradise in your day-to-day environment, but it's nothing you can't handle, Sagittarius rising. You will get on top of this, and this is a passing transit. It's not going to last forever, but Mars could be really changing things up in your day-to-day life connected to those 6th house topics. The 22nd of June, the day after that full moon, Mars is going to be trining the moon in Capricorn, your 2nd house. Now, this is a good day on the 22nd, the day after the full moon, for agreeing to a mission towards cementing something of value, connected to your resources, connecting to your self-worth, connected to education. So you could be upskilling or feeling like you have more support in regards to your work that benefits you on the 22nd of June. Now, Venus has been transiting in the sign of Gemini and continues this transit in your 7th house, opening up the month of June, and changes signs on the 17th of June. So the first few weeks of June, Venus is still kicking up her heels in your 7th house. This has a lot to do with, you know, how you're connected and united through partnership, and whether you find value in them, or you're really just very hyper vigilant about finances, connected with other people, agreements, contracts, negotiations. The 4th of June, you've got Venus conjuncting the Sun. Now, the Sun-Venus conjunction is about looking at who's worth the squeeze and who isn't. So who you're happy to have in your daily environment, who you're happy to commit with. Are relationships organic, and something's highlighted on this day with someone else that could ruffle your philosophical feathers in regards to, is this really for me? Do I really connect with this person, or am I feeling connected with these people that I'm in agreement or in contract with? So it's a very peculiar day, the 4th of June. The 8th of June, you've got Venus squaring Saturn in Pisces, your 4th and 7th house in a square aspect. So Venus squaring Saturn is like, just stop. Stop the pleasure. Stop the enjoyment. Are you getting value connected to who you're connecting with? Is there benefits? Because I need to know, because it's affecting my home environment. It's affecting my sense of sanctuary. It's affecting my real estate and property concerns. I'm a bit concerned here on the 8th of June is what I'm getting for Sagittarius rising. The 17th, we see Venus ingressing into the sign of Cancer, your 8th house, until July 11 of 2024. So when Venus is transiting that 8th house, this is where you can have some benefactors step in that assist you, friends that can assist you in regards to negotiations with contracts connected to assets, insurances, inheritances, finances, and also partnerships can come on board here. Things can be in flow or feel like you have support in the 8th house from the 17th to the 11th of July. 17th of June to the 11th of July. 29th of June, ending the month, we've got Venus sextiling Mars in Taurus. This is good because we've got what's called mutual reception here. Mars is in Taurus, which is Venus's house. Venus is in Cancer, which is more favorable connected to finances. And Mars and Venus in harmony is a lot more beneficial for opposites coming together and agreeing in regards to what's good for the daily routine, what's good for my work, what's good for my co-workers. We're all on board, we all agree on something, we're all going forward together on something, and it's affecting the financial side of your life, which is beneficial. So something comes online here in regards to everyone's on the same page, connecting to services you provide, co-workers, things that you do for work, and your daily routines. A quick mention about the other planets, because there's other planets in the solar system. We've got Pluto continuing its retrograde motion in Aquarius, and for you as a Sagittarius rising, your third house. Now, when Pluto's retrograde slowing down, taking its time, retracing its steps, it's only gone bloody 2 degrees. This is where you have a slowdown in your daily environment where you frequent every day. There could be a slowdown, a turnaround. This could also have you going back to connections with cousins or siblings. So there's a lot of activity connected to cousins and siblings or people that are your tribe. So people could be coming back and people could be leaving or feeling like you are stepping away from a normal environment as well that you have always been part of. So this transit is continuing in your third house with Pluto retrograde. So changing things up, so feeling things out, what's working, what's not working. Only you do you. Neptune's direct in Pisces in your fourth house. So Neptune's at that 29 degrees about to go into a retrograde in July. So Neptune in Pisces, your fourth house, could have things being a little bit almost hazy about how you feel about real estate property concerns, also family, ancestry, and your sense of security connected to home and family, your sanctuary. It's where you find peace and harmony. And Neptune here can be really quite deceptive in having you feel connected and anchored to a home environment. So there's just a lot of changes going on around the home environment. And like I said, Neptune's going into a retrograde motion next month. So forewarned is forearmed. There could be something changing in the home dynamics here. Uranus is direct in Taurus, your sixth house. So Uranus is still playing silly buggers in regards to your work and career, connected to your daily routines and habits. And Uranus doesn't leave Taurus until 2026. So forewarned is forearmed. Uranus is still mucking up when it comes to your sense of direction with work, career, services to other people, and your health and daily routines. Jupiter is in Gemini, only just ingressed here a couple of weeks ago, and not even a couple of weeks ago, sorry, ingressed on the 25th of May. Yep, 2024. And this is a year transit in detriment, not good. There's, overinflation here, too much distraction, too many options. So watch your mental health and watch the agreements and contracts and negotiations connect with partnerships. You value them or you don't. You could be split. You could be torn in two. There could be affairs. You could be having affairs. You could be thinking about affairs. You could be thinking about bringing other people into relationships, or other people are intruding on your relationships. Tricky, tricky, tricky. With Jupiter and Gemini, that seventh house, and it's an angular house for you, opposing you as a Sagittarius rising. So, big standout for the month. Saturn in Pisces, your fourth house, is going into a retrograde on the 29th of June until November 15. So when Saturn is slowing down and going into a retrograde in your fourth house, you can feel as if there is no control in your home environment. Family members going back, retracing ancestry, feeling like there's things now revealed to you. a retracing of your tracks connected to discipline and structure in the home environment. These are the things that you may be dealing with, and possibly could be looking at tying up a mortgage or a debt connected to a home or real estate property concern. I'm Cosmic Girl 101 signing off now. Trust you have a fabulous month of June 2024. There's a lot going on for all of us given. Sagittarius rising is all about finding the harmony between you and others and your resources. That's the standout I have for you for the month of June, and literally getting your house in order. This is your place. What is home to you, and trying to establish a sense of stability and serenity. Okay, I'll catch you next video. Take care, Sagittarius rising. Till next time.